Isn't that reasonable? Right. Like, that's reasonable. What's your problem? Why are you being an ass?
The airline also stood up for the guy in the back seat.
Wow.
The guy who's hitting the seat.
Wow.
Because they said that because he was in the last row of the plane, so his seat doesn't recline. And they said that if the person behind you doesn't want you to decline, you shouldn't decline. You should be respectful and not decline. I'm like, fuck you, fix your planes. That's not
how it works.
Like, yeah, she bought the seat, so now she can't lean back because it's going to disturb him. So she needs to be in a uncomfortable position for hours. Out. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
No, American Airlines, you're canceled.
I've never heard that rule. Like, you just subjected to the person behind you, and you can't decline at all if they just say you can't decline?
First of all,
that's crazy.
It only goes back an inch and a half.
Yeah.
So it's not like that much of a inconvenience anyhow.
Well, they've been chopping up planes more and more. Every time I get on the airplane, it's
smaller
leg room. Yeah, and they're trying to get more seats in there, and it's just like, and I'm a petite fellow.
Yeah.
And I'm cramped.
Yeah. My legs,
And apparently this dude was tall as well. That was in the last row. But again,
he picked that seat. You picked that seat, sir.
Yeah. So.
American Airlines is out of line.
He's punching the seat.
Right?
Wow.
And she's videotaping it, and she's wrong.
Wow.
Right. Yeah.
Lawsuit.
That's one of those things where, like, common sense says, okay, even if she's wrong, he's more wrong.
Right.
He's way more wrong.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and apparently this lady she reminds me of my wife. She sounds pretty fragile. If what she's saying is true, which I don't have any reason to not believe her, but she's saying how she's had like several different surgeries and she has spine problems, whatever. So that is for what an average person might be an irritation is very painful for her. Yeah. And I can relate to that because, like I said, my wife is like that. Like, there's many things that a normal person wouldn't, but she's like super fragile. I call her Mrs. Glass. And I know, like, if this was happening with my wife, oh my God, no, he would have it would have been hands.
Yeah.
Either mine or hers that had to be put on him.
What if she had a pre-existing condition and now he's punching the back of her seat and just
she does. That's what she's saying. She actually does.
Yeah. So that's real. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
When my last cruise ship contract, and it was a terrible one. At one point in time, we have to change rooms, and you get your own room for part of the contract, but you have to share a room during part of the contract. And I was sharing a room with other cast members who was as old as I was. So I was like,
how does that work?
We're in crew cabins. There's bunk beds.
No. What I was wondering is, like, how does it change? Does somebody disembark?
No, we rotate.
Oh, okay. Rotate. So
we rotate. There's one solo room or two solo rooms.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So this is during part of my contract where I had to share a room, and I'm in this room, and I'm on the top bunk. And the music director is on the bottom bunk, which he chose. Uh-huh. Well, if I roll into my back, I snore. So I rolled on my back and I snored, and it was driving him crazy. He refused to buy earbuds. He refused to buy any kind of thing, earplugs, and does that because that would be uncomfortable for him. I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I can't stop my body from doing what it's going to do.
Yeah.
So I was on my back. I started snoring. Do you know this motherfucker was kicking from the bottom of the bed, kicking me like hard. And I'm like, yo, what is up with that?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm sorry. You were driving me crazy. You're driving me crazy. I would never do anything like that to anybody, but you're driving me. I'm like, oh, it's my fault that you don't know how to control yourself, Mr. 40-plus-year-old man.
Wow.
See, I'm a snorer, so I can relate to that. Like, I've actually had anxiety or fear about sharing space with people because of that, because you never know how people are going to respond. And it's so weird to me because I get people, obviously, because I've had many, not trying to say I have many girlfriends, but more than one or two who sleep with me every night with no problem. And then I get a random dude who's sharing a room with me for some weekend and act like it's the end of the world.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, and then most people fall somewhere in the middle, but you never know which way that it's going to go. And there's nothing I can do about it either way.
Right.
So I'm really funny about, I just want to be by myself, my own room. You know, I don't want to share with because it could, you know, people get, you know, freaked out about it. It could be a big thing.
I snore.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I snore.
And what's funny is some people, my wife gives me shit about snoring, but she snores too. And there's times when she's keeping me up.
Jason was like that.
And I'm like, you know, and you tell them that they snore and they swear up and down they don't.
Right.
I'm
I was just going to say that.
How come you can hear me, you can be awake and hear me, but I can't be awake and hear you?
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't hear me snore.
Right?
You don't hear me snore.
Yeah, you're lying.
Yeah, I don't snore.
You're lying.
I don't snore.
You're making shit up.
Yeah, no, you hearing
But you
shit.
snore.
Yeah, I had one of
And
my
that's the
exes.
truth.
I had one of my exes record me because we had this hard down argument. You snore, and I'm like, I don't snore.
Oh, so you was one of those people.
I am. I'm still to this day.
Oh, you still say you don't snore?
Even though I do, but I don't.
Oh my God.
And I snore loud. I wake myself up sometimes like, oh, that was me. Anyway, he recorded me snoring, and I was like, what is that? And he was like, this is you.
Right.
Snoring.
Exactly.
And I was like, no, it's not. Deshaun, do you think it's on this recording?
And that's the reason why I haven't done that for my wife, because it would be the same thing.
Yeah.
She would be like, or she would say, well, like, that's not typical. You know what I'm saying? Like, that probably happens once a year.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the one laying
like,
here listening to it.
Because she can hear herself when she sleeps.
Right. I was hard down like you got that off the internet. I was hard down like you're trying to make this up. Even though I knew deep down in my heart and soul, I know I snore.
See, that's so wrong. That's so why would you do that?
I'm a girl, I'm a woman, and that's not cute. So
they don't change the fact.
I don't care.
So you'd rather gaslight them.
Yes. How about we just don't even touch this subject? I snore, you sleep, and everybody's happy.
Now here's a thing now with women's equality that I think you are doing disservice to. Women are supposed to people snore. Okay? Period. Anybody thinks a woman, a real refined feminine woman,
they also fart and shit, Rochelle.
Yeah,
and bleed
sometimes.
and have snot.
Why do y'all always got to talk about that stuff? That's guy stuff.
Exactly.
That's what he's talking about right now.
That's
There's no guy stuff.
It's people stuff,
right?
Women, we pass gas.
Mm-hmm. You pass some shitty smelling gas. Anyway, back to my dude on American Airlines.
Right.
I hope this woman went to the flight attendant early. It sounds like he probably went to her. The dude in the back went to the flight attendant before she did. I've had people kick the back of my seat too. And I had, like, especially kids. I was on an international flight, and the kid was kicking my seat. And I kept turning around to his mother and said, would you get your kid? I can't make him. I was like, I don't care if you have to stop him every time he puts one foot up all the way to London. You better stop him. Stop him.
Because if you don't, I will.
Okay.
Bitch. How you like that?
Okay.
But somebody punching the back of my head, the back of my seat, it is on for sure.
For sure.
It is on. And even I'm like, dude, I'm definitely not going to put my seat up now.
And you right about little kids, Pip. They love doing that because I don't know how many times I've been behind some little kids in the movie theater, or I mean in front of some little kids in the movie theater, and they kicking my chair through the whole damn movie. I can't.
Oh my gosh. Or the little mischievous kids. When I was going to visit my mom in Vegas, I had a little kid that kept reaching behind with his hand or his leg and hitting my leg.
Maybe he was just horny.
Well, he was going to be choked out. Because I thought I was tripping. Like, what is that?
How old was this kid?
I had to be like 7. And his mom
That's
was
about where it begins with boys.
His mom was just so oblivious to the fact. I was like, could you get your son?
That part. I was going to say, I get the like if the kid does something once and it gets past the parents. Right. But how are you next to your kid and your kid is doing something repeatedly and you're oblivious to it?
Come on now.
Who the fuck are you people?
Come on now.
How did you get a kid?
He was on her lap.
I can't.
He was on her lap.
So then she was just, I think she was being a bitch and just
she was just like she just did not care.
Didn't care, exactly.
She just did not care. At one point in time, she was letting him sit on the floor.
Because if you got badass kids, at a certain point, you just
You
flip
give
that
up.
switch, and you're like, I don't care. And then everybody else has to deal with it.
Yeah, she had totally checked out. She had given up. She was just holding him around his waist, and he was just living his best life.
I can't stand those checked out parents when the kids running around the stores and stuff or whatever.
My Aunt Vera's son was a wild child, but she was always on guard. And you never knew what Jimmy was going to do. Jimmy is the kind of person just like he'll just leave a classroom and take off and go running around the block. He won't run out the track. He will literally run around the school, run around the block, just full speed, just for no reason. He was one of those kids. They had to, I guess we call him ADHD.
He had to get it out
today, right? Yeah, he just had impulse control problems.
Yeah, he had to get it out.
And so, but my Aunt Vera was vigilant. If you was at a movie theater, she could see. She's like, "You bet not."
Right.
You bet not.
Yeah, that's my thing. If a kid does something once or twice or something, I'm not really all like, but when the kid is continually doing, bad behavior, I'm like, where the fuck are the parents?
I'm telling you.
Because I'm like, Danya might do.
Trying to get something by.
She might do something, but she ain't gonna be doing it for long because I'm always like, where's she at? What's she doing? Where's she at? What's she doing? Where's she at? What's she doing?
This little boy was reaching behind the seat, slapping my knees, slapping my legs. And then he would do his leg if his mom was like, and she started to look like, what did he just do? She didn't say anything, but she would just look at him. Then he would just use his foot and reach his foot behind. Because how he was sitting on her lap. First of all, he's sitting on her lap with his feet facing the aisleway. So he's sitting on her lap facing outwards.
Okay, so he could just hop off and run anytime.
Exactly. So he could just slide down off her lap and go and jump on the bus driver's lap whenever he felt like it.
Here's another thing my auntie did that I also respected about her having a badass kid. She would not let, if she couldn't control him, she didn't make it everybody else's problem. She would just excuse herself and leave. Mm-hmm. And she would deal with him later and say, Jimmy, you see what you did? You made us miss this movie because of your behavior because we couldn't sit there with the rest of everybody else. She wouldn't just sit there with the rest of everybody else.
Right.
No, we had to go because you don't know how to act.
Right.
And shout out to chat. Sadie says she'll throat chop her kids for some shit like that.
Yeah.
She carries a kitchen spoon in her purse for bad kids.
Ooh,
in case
there
she
you
probably
go.
gotta
my girl.
get them with a spoon.
That's
smart.
Sadie.
I like that. Never thought about that.
Right. So Pip, you mentioned something in passing about ADHD or whatever. So then that got me thinking about, because this is something I wanted to bring up to you guys. So you know how kids on ADHD, they take the Ritalin and Adderall and things like that. Mm-hmm. But then they have also found out that a lot of times college kids take it at study age because it helps them focus or whatever, right? So my question is, how do you guys feel about that morally? Because I was watching this TV show where they framed it as cheating. Like they were like really pissed off that this daughter who has struggled to get good grades her whole life. Her little nephew was prescribed some ADHD, meds, and she took them to help her study, and she aced all her finals and stuff, whatever. And they the show, they came down on her and said that was cheating, whatever. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with that.
I don't think that's cheating. I mean, is coffee cheating?
Yeah.
Right. I don't get that. No,
yeah.
I don't get that either.
I don't get it.
It doesn't give you the answers.
No.
Right.
It helps you focus.
Right.
If you have a problem getting focusing, and that helps you to focus, in a way, you do need those meds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I don't understand, I feel like if anything, they should have gave her the meds a long time ago.
Yeah.
And she'd probably been a much better student by now.
I was just going to say, there's probably a much better use for them as well. Back in the day, people took caffeine pills so that they can stay up all night and study. I don't feel like this is much of
Was that cheating?
Yeah, I don't feel like this is much of a reach from that.
No.
Yeah, I was like, I was taken aback. I was shocked. I was like, what?
Plus, here's the other thing.
People that think that's cheating?
I think drug use in general is always just risky. I mean, there's always, could be a downside to that. So the people taking their risk with it, whatever with it. And so they're gambling in their own. So let them take their gamble.
Yeah.
That's nothing to do with you.
I get that. And if you want to approach it from that point and say, hey, it's not good to take someone else's prescription, whatever. But to frame it like they literally said the words, "You cheated."
No,
wow.
I don't think that's cheating.
Yeah.
Wow.